Thank you.
Okay. Next, we will go to, we'll have Deputy Superintendent Scott Jones give our monthly budget report.
Jamie, Natalie's jumping out of her seat now.
So can you pull it up? Good morning, Deputy Superintendent of Operations Scott Jones, and with me is your Finance Director, Deborah Jacobson. I know this is the most exciting part of your day because it is awesome. The report we're going to give you is further demonstration of the ability to drill down. Over the next couple of weeks or few weeks, we'll be going around to the section directors to make sure that they're trained on how to access it. We'll be working with you individually or as in a group so that you can utilize this tool to do what its intended purpose, and that is that you know where every dollar is going. And the responsibility of your staff is met. Obviously there's always some small issues now, not as large as we've had in the last couple of years. In fact, one board member noted last night that's been on the board for a while that over the last couple of years, when we have the carry forward discussions, we're usually saying, well, we actually need to find $10 million, no, not that much, $2 million to plug holes or do things like that because we've moved money around and done different things like that. So we are much, much better financially as far as accuracy in reporting, closing, and starting the year right than we've ever been since I've been here for this time. So what I wanted to do, though, is because it's in the order of sections with, starting with assessment, each month in the Finance Committee, we have a review of particular sections. So I'm going to kind of do that here with you today, and we're going to go to teaching and learning, if that's okay. Just draw one out for you just to try to, this is, teaching and learning is by far our biggest section. They have the highest volume of activity compared to any other section. SAS is probably a close second, I would say, as far as all the transactional details that we have to go. So as Deborah approaches teaching and learning, slowly, but surely, we'll get there. I do want to demonstrate that there's program integrity for the funding, but detail within each one of the programs that teaching and learning administers under the direction of Director Sudruth. And then Patty, of course, too, Patty Norman, Deputy Superintendent Norman. So if you'll, I'm not sure if you're in board docs and you're looking at this or if you want to just look up at the screen, but so I'm using this opportunity to kind of train you or orient you to the reports. So pick a program, whatever. Pick a program. How about a board member pick a program? What program would you like to see or have more detail on within the teaching and learning section? Travel and state? Okay.
Which one?
Well, no, by program. So, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, she wants to see that. Go ahead.
So this is, if you notice, we now have these separated by, you can now see any programs that are funded by federal funds and any programs that are funded by state funds. So hopefully that will be helpful for you. Right now, probably the best ones to look at are anything that has an 18 by it because the carry forward hasn't been loaded yet.
Yeah. So last night at the Finance Committee, we got permission to load the carry forward. So next month, you'll see that in there. We're following the process. And actually, too, we're adhering to the law for the first time, which is basically we can't release the carry forward until it goes through the process of the governor's office, legislative analysts, all that process. So is there another program? Anyone want to see a program? Okay.
So there's, okay. So if you notice there's no expenditures in this one currently.
Okay. So do the one, how about we go
So-
to the one above it?
Beverly
So,
Taylor
yeah.
Sorensen.
Yes, let's look at Beverly Taylor Sorensen.
So anything that's highlighted and underlined and in blue are, yeah, you can
Yeah,
actually drill
there's-
down on.
I mean,
Maybe.
we're relatively early in the year,
Maybe
so you know you may not
Crashed
see
on
some of
me.
that too.
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah.
I think it went to sleep, actually. I had this opened earlier. Now it's stalling on me.
Great.
This is good.
Better.
Okay. So here's Beverly Taylor Sorensen. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Maybe. You'll also notice, of course, right now they're only spending in one category, but we've also broken it out into the categories that should match your sheets that you have by object code.
Did we
That we
pass
give you?
those out? Did we have the cheat sheets passed out? Yeah. Okay.
So they are
go
now
ahead.
broken out into those categories.
Mm-hmm.
And now by these categories, so if they have multiple categories, you would see all of those object codes. Now you can actually choose, payroll's really not a good example because it's just going to show. This actually now will drill down to the actual transactions that happened. Payroll's not a good one because they actually go up in big batches.
Do you know of one that has like
So-
vendor payments in it?
Probably. No, you should be
You
able
should
to.
be able to.
Not on board docs. You
Yeah.
can't.
So you
actually
have to
log
sign
into the
in
system.
using your ID, and we'll work with you individually on that. So you have that, and we'll get you there. So
What happened to my report?
I don't know.
It went away. Hold on.
Chair.
Yes.
So that's not publicly available for people to look at that detailed?
Not yet.
No. Okay.
Not yet. We can do that. Yeah, it's in the transparency website that is at the state level, the
Right.
transactions and all that too. If we want to keep it at our level, like say post it on our website or something, we can work towards that. Most definitely.
I think it'd be beneficial. And I
Yeah.
wanted to thank you for your work on this because I think it's very important to show such
get there.
detailed. So thank you.
I opened it too early, I think, and then it logged me out. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I broke it. Maybe it is.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Jared about the Wi-Fi. So
No, I can't grab it.
I would pick teaching and learning too. It's at the
You
bottom
would,
of
right
the
at the
report,
end.
right? So
That's how you. Probably their admin would probably be the best one.
well, but does it have vendor payments or?
Do 18 professional development. Professional.
So
That one?
so we can do the driver's ed here.
Okay.
This one doesn't currently show the budget because it's carry forward, but it will show you the detail of, well, maybe it will.
It will. It's just slow.
I don't know why it's so slow. So this is an example, like here's the other category of pass-through. We have multiple object codes that fall in here. But now when you click on this, it will actually give you the detail of the transaction that we actually made, which this is more for in our agency, what our transaction ID is. This reference transaction ID column actually will show you if it references an actual contract, a grant award, anything like that. The transaction date when it was actually processed, the vendor number, the actual vendor, and then this is more for interdepartment, the actual coding block that it was charged to. And then, of course, the amounts.
Any questions from the board? I've got a question for you, Scott.
Sure.
This was this goes back a year or so ago. And I'm not sure if it's a fair question, but on our finances and everything, we've moved to all these betterments. Are we still intersections? Do we still have their own we have section people keeping their own books, their own Excel spreadsheets. Are we
You want me to show the
are
other
we
report?
Yeah.
are we progressing to where we wanted to be, or is there?
Yes, we are making, we've made significant progress, and it's hard to go into so much detail, in the amount of time we have, but go ahead and show. This is a good demonstration. I hope can answer your question. Go ahead, Deborah.
So we actually created a more detailed report that you as board members will also have access to as well, where you can actually go specifically to a very specific program without having to go through the whole board report and look at the whole thing.
But, and what this does, though, too, is, as I stated earlier, as we go through the sections, it'll become much less of a individual tracking, like, say, in a spreadsheet and all that, too, because the system will help do that. Can I report right now that we're still not in, or that we're not, that we're not still currently in what we call shadow systems like spreadsheets, tracking, and all that? No, I cannot. There is still some of that going on. But as we progress through the year, because this is the first year where we're in finance, we'll start to become more, the system is more reliable. And as directors get trained and their staff get trained on this too, we'll see more of an increase or more of a departure from using shadow systems, where if a particular individual departs, then it's not, it doesn't, all that information isn't in their head and all that. We're automating a lot, even including MSP. We're still doing that. It's taken a long time, I know, but we're still developing the ability to have automation so that we're not losing fidelity in programs and stuff because an individual leaves the office or things like that. So, and I think Natalie has something to say too. So,
Well, I was just going to mention that we won't be out of spreadsheets or tracking systems until the grants management system is fully operational. And that is not planned until the 1st of July for all of our initial phases. And so FiNet doesn't give us the ability in all areas to track individual subrecipients, the budgets, the payments. We could set it up that way, but it would take an inordinate amount of time, and that's the purpose of a grants management system. And so we will still have those for another year or so until that is fully operational.
Okay. And any other questions? Well, I just want to echo some of the other appreciation. This is moving to a lot more reliable,
yes.
efficient, better way to manage on the financial side. So kudos to everyone. And it's very difficult. I think we all recognize that it's difficult for people to change and get confidence in a new system, but it seems like every board member, you see more and more and better data coming in. So
Yeah, it's important though too that I spend some more time with section directors, orienting them to the system, getting them in there too. So we're ready. We're making progress. Thank you.
any other questions or comments on the monthly budget report? Seeing none. Thank you.